Are you a parent who feels like you tried everything to help your child's chronic health issues, but nothing seems to provide lasting relief? You are not alone. An alarming 40% of school-aged children today suffer from at least one ongoing health problem, from digestive issues and respiratory challenges to neurological conditions like ADHD and anxiety. Our children are facing an unprecedented epidemic of poor health. And we're here to ask the question, what if there was a common thread underlying many of these seemingly unrelated conditions? A root cause that, when addressed, could unlock your child's innate potential for healing and thriving. When we discuss chronic health issues in America today and ask questions like the one I just did, most natural-minded, crunchy parents out there are now going to expect the discussion to shift to the onslaught of toxins and chemicals that are all over in our environment today. But that's not the topic we're diving into today. Instead, we're going to talk about something perhaps even more toxic than toxins. And that topic is the role that chronic stress plays in creating chronic health issues, even in our kids. This video is for parents of children struggling with chronic health issues who are searching for answers and solutions beyond just removing toxins and cleaning up their environment. If you feel like you've tried almost everything to help your child heal and they're still struggling, then you've got to watch this video all the way through because it has the chance to truly change your family's life. In this video, we'll explore the concept of subluxation. It's something we talk about in a lot of our other videos, and today we're essentially doing a deep dive into better understanding it. This complex neurological dysfunction can be the hidden culprit behind many of your child's ongoing health challenges. We'll dive into what subluxation is, how it develops, and its far-reaching impact on your child's well-being. We think of stress all the time when it comes to our own health, and we try to get good sleep, go for walks outside, or maybe you've even upgraded your battle against stress and started taking the cold showers, using that red light therapy panel, or maybe even bought a grounding mat. It isn't always realistic for us to be doing all those things for our health. And it's most definitely unrealistic to expect our kids to be doing them, especially if we're not. Our kids learn best from their parents. The truth is that an overstressed and out of balance nervous system is actually the number one thing destroying our kids' health too, and not enough people are talking about it. Many of our new patient families report that they've already exhausted everything modern medicine has to offer. They've gone to see all the medical specialists, had all the genetic and other medical testing done, tried multiple different medications, and yet their child was still sick and struggling. For the majority of parents, they've already woken up to the limitations of conventional medicine when it comes to actually addressing the root cause and helping their child heal naturally. And that's where parents of today have turned in a major way towards natural health and things like functional medicine. So instead of the conventional route, many new parents let us know that they've tried multiple diet changes, detoxes, vitamins, supplements, essential oils, various therapies, and so forth. Which, don't get me wrong, is so good and often has created some really great changes and improvements in their child's health. However, nearly every single time these parents report that despite all this hard work and changing of their entire lifestyle, their children are still struggling with things like autism, ADHD, sensory processing disorders, seizures, motion sickness, anxiety, allergies, eczema, asthma, chronic ear infections, the list goes on. Parents who are watching, this simply means this. There has to be more going on that's causing our kids to be sick than simply too many toxins and chemicals. There has to be something almost below the surface that not only conventional medicine can't find and help, but natural or holistic practitioners often miss too. That something is called subluxation, and it's likely the most important thing you've never heard about when it comes to your family's health. So what in the world is subluxation? And we're going to get pretty nerdy with this one. Subluxation refers to a complex neurological dysfunction within the body characterized by three main components. Number one being misalignment. This is altered positioning and alignment within the neurospinal system. The second component is fixation and restriction of motion. There's abnormal tension or fixation within these neurospinal segments and regions, then leads to a reduced range of motion and overall movement. Put simply, it's a guarded, rigid lack of movement. And third, and probably the most impactful component of subluxation, involves neurological interference and imbalance. The combination of this misalignment and restriction of movement disrupts and alters neurosensory input or proprioception into the brain. Essentially, your body communicates to your brain through signals that are produced through movement. And when there's a lack of movement from an area of the body, particularly in the neurospinal system, there's a lack of information or proprioception, that good input that the brain is receiving from that specific location in the body. Another word for that good input our brain receives from movement, proprioception, is body position awareness. Your brain knowing where things are without having to see it. And when that communication to the brain stops happening due to subluxation, this leads to interference and imbalance within the nervous system. How? Think of it this way. Imagine putting duct tape all over your ears. Your brain not only is going to pick up on the uncomfortable nature of having your ears sealed with the tape, but it's going to notice the lack of sound or input from the inner ear. The duct tape is interfering and altering the transmission of signals from the ear to the brain. And in a similar matter, subluxation, lack of motion and positioning, alters the information sent to the brain. When subluxation occurs, it shifts the entire nervous system into that sympathetic dominance and often ends up stuck there. Essentially, if the brain is continually being fed stress signals from subluxation, it will respond by going into stress mode or protection mode. Inflammation is going to increase. Stress chemicals are released. The sensory system is going to heighten. It's a stress response that affects the entire body. The body is designed with a stress response as a normal means of survival. The problem occurs when the stress response continues to stress the body out. To put it another way and see it from a different angle, the parasympathetic, rest, relax, regulate, and digest side of the nervous system is suppressed or shut down when we're in sympathetic dominance. When the nervous system gets stuck in this fight or flight sympathetic response, it then starts to pull energy and function away from other crucial systems, such as the gut and digestive system, as well as the immune and endocrine systems. This imbalance of the nervous system is also known as dysautonomia, something that more parents and people deserve to know about as well. And that's why we're going to now switch to talking about the signs and symptoms of subluxation and sympathetic dominance. Most often, especially for children, the first signs and symptoms of subluxation aren't physical. One of the negatively impactful signs of subluxation within a child is difficulty sleeping. The child, from a baseline level, perceiving their world as more threatening from stress, toxins, and subluxation stuck on their system, their chances of getting that deep restorative sleep that every one of us needs is lessened. Other signs of subluxation can show up as gut and GI issues like acid reflux, colic, constipation, decreased mobility or motility, altered microbiome. These are just some of those examples when it comes to the gut. There's also immune challenges that can show up, chronic ear infection and respiratory infections, croup, RSV, allergies, asthma, and an overall suppressed or weakened immune response. There's also signs of subluxation that can appear as behavioral and emotional dysregulation, sensory overload and sensory processing challenges, tantrums, meltdowns, hyperactivity, and impulsivity. It can also show up as motor challenges, gross and fine motor delays, imbalances, hypertonicity, weak core, incoordination, or speech delays, and more. In adults, subluxation up in the same ways affects with sleep, gut, immune, and mental and emotional challenges, as well as chronic tension, chronic inflammation, headaches, and exhaustion. If you feel like you've tried every single workout, yoga class, massage, supplement protocol, diet change, detox, and meditation app yourself, and still can't get healthy, it's likely subluxation and imbalanced nervous system are triggering your health challenges as well. So we covered what subluxation is, some of its signs and symptoms of subluxation. Let's now jump into what sets this concept into motion. The most common and widely overlooked trigger of subluxation, nervous system dysregulation, and chronic health challenges in children is birth intervention and trauma. This could be from forceps, vacuum extraction, induction, epidurals, and C-sections. And each of these types of birth interventions puts immense pressure on the delicate nerves and tissue in the brainstem and upper neck area, especially the vagus nerve, which regulates so many of the basic functions discussed before, like sleep, digestion, immune function, and behavioral or sensory regulation. And we're not here to demonize these practices. They're in fact life-saving in a lot of cases. Let me put it this way. You're walking down the street when a friend of yours comes out of nowhere and shoves you off the road into a pile of jagged rocks. Yes, they saved your life from the bus that would most definitely left you in a worse off state. But now you're beaten up, bruised, and bloody from that life-saving intervention. It's the aftermath we're talking about and want to recognize here. In addition to birth trauma, the perfect storm of factors that can contribute to the development of subluxation in children include high amounts of stress and anxiety in the fertility and pregnancy journey, and the overuse of antibiotics and exposure to countless chemicals and toxins early in a child's life. It's the accumulation of these factors, and all of these factors can get and keep a child's nervous system stuck, subluxated, and functioning in a way that doesn't favor ideal growth and development, but keeps it in an overactive, protective, anxious, and sensory overloaded and overstimulated state. So parents, if you or your child are experiencing the effects of a nervous system in overdrive, an anxious mode, subluxated, we can help. Subluxation does not show up on any traditional medical tests or even with PT, OT, speech therapy type assessments. Subluxation can be measured and detected through in-depth neurological scans that measure the quality of how your nervous system is functioning. Is it in a more guarded and rigid state? Are you operating in that sympathetic dominant state? Is your system exhausted, wound up, and worn out at the same time? At Rising Health, we run these scans on all of our patients. And these scans take just 15 to 20 minutes to complete and are essentially a stress test for you or your child's nervous system. They help us to find subluxation and those hidden in plain sight neurological dysfunctions and imbalances that could very well be the culprit of your child's sleep challenges, sensory issues, chronic gut and digestive issues, the weakened immune response, motor and other developmental delays. So much can be contributed to this. And when all other medical testing and going from specialist to specialist still does not find the root cause, it's almost a guarantee your child is struggling with subluxation and nervous system dysregulation. And therefore, neurologically focused chiropractic care is likely to be the thing you've been up late at night searching and praying for. We're here to help. If you're interested in getting you or your family in to get scanned, Click the link in our bio below or in our bio to schedule that insight scan appointment at our office. If you want more information regarding what it is we do, stalk our social media, or simply reach out. A simple phone call could be the start to getting your child's health back on track. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.